the TikTok streets. I want to start first with this person because in my comments, I had some comments, people asking me who she was, and you're very interested in hearing more from her. So I thought we would play a little bit of that. The name of the game is I put together stories by jumping around the internet. We won't always put, I consider myself like, I've always, when I did art, I was like a mixed media artist. So I like to pull a lot of different things together and create a story. And we won't always watch everything in its entirety, or we won't read everything in its entirety. But what I do is put everything down in the YouTube show notes. We do this to cite our sources and for fair use. And if I get, sometimes you don't want my voice over it. I get that. Or you want to use it for your own content. You want to know where it came from. I get it. And I'm here for you. And it's down there in the YouTube show notes. So let me move myself out of the way. And we'll get going. So over on YouTube, Lillian London shared her take on Lauren Matthias. Or Mathis. Is it Matthias or Mathis? Let me look. I don't know. I've heard it said both ways. So.
Fascinating. Like, she's calling the police because no one calls her. Her phone is too quiet. You know what, Lauren? I usually only know stalking victims who complain about how often they have to change their phone numbers because they get harassed by messages and phone calls and everything. And you're literally, I think, the first stalking victim who complains it's too quiet. Like, what is it? A silent harassment? Like someone is harassing me with silence because I don't get phone calls? It is getting so insane. Like, I don't even know where to start with all of this. Okay, so back to square one, because I also had my fair share of run-ins with Lauren. So a few years ago, Lauren and the Hidden True Crime, they covered a case, and she uploaded on her YouTube channel a jailhouse recording of a phone call, and it was obvious it was between the defendant and his lawyer. So this phone call should have never been released to the public, obviously. And it was obvious when you listened to it, you knew exactly what it was, who it was, and, basically you shouldn't have released it. It must have been an accident by the courthouse. And I mean, if you say you're a professional journalist, and you're so professional, then you would maybe make the courthouse aware of it, or the lawyer, the defendant saying, hey, by the way, they accidentally released these phone calls, which they shouldn't. But she still put it up on her YouTube channel. So I made a post on X, formerly Twitter, and I called her out and said, I don't agree with that one. I think that's not right. What happened was Lauren had a complete meltdown, and she also claimed then being bullied, harassed, and as if it's a torture. And I just thought, you know what, Lauren, I'm not calling you every day. I'm not doing anything. There is a post on X. And she wanted me to remove it because I called her out.
Does that sound strangely familiar? Because it does to me. It does to me, but this isn't Christina. Weird.
So you're basically torturing yourself, because it seems all you do all day long is like you go on my page and like, is it still there? Is it still here? And you reread the same post and you get annoyed about it. So you're torturing yourself because it's in your mind. Like back then I was already wondering, like, why is her husband not saying anything to her about, hey, Lauren, how about calm your tits? Okay, so now when you look at the response video.
That's like my new favorite. Hey, Lauren, how about you just calm your tits?
They uploaded, right? It's actually really interesting because Dr. John is with his stupid Brad Pitt example, talking about why you should differentiate between what a person does privately and their work, right? But this is exactly why everything goes wrong for Lauren, because she can't. Goes for Lauren, and this is actually also interesting. I'm surprised Dr. John doesn't come up with that one, because you actually have
what?
People.
Do you think Dr. John has told her to calm her tits before? I don't think so. I think he needs to, but I don't think he has. I don't think that's what she's talking about. But I really think Lauren needs to calm her tits.
The narcissistic personality traits, or high on the narcissistic scale, right? They have an issue that they can't admit a mistake they made in any way because they have such a fragile...
Well, we've got a few people lined up that have come out today. So yes, another person. We've got another person that we're going to look at just after this. And maybe another person. We'll see.
Ego and a fragile sense of self, that for them is basically like, oh my God, if I would now admit that I screwed up, then it means I am a bad person or something. And this is exactly what Lauren always says. I'm not a bad person. No, Lauren, but I mean, you can still just come forward and say, hey, look, I screwed up. What I did was really bad. But it's not what you do. And the whole time today in this video, they were just talking about, yeah, I mean, you admitted faults and stuff. No, she didn't. She was actually constantly just saying, I have no idea what I did.
Yeah.
And that's why so many people
does that, or she's big on the yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, buts. Yeah, but, yeah, but. She's got a yeah, but.
come forward now and saying, let me tell you what you did. Because you do not take responsibility for anything. You still say, I haven't got a clue. And I also find it very interesting. Like, so yeah, she's basically talking about these text messages that will get released, but the smallest amount of time she's actually paying attention to what she wrote and maybe her behavior was screwed up. No, main part is, but it's much worse that someone would release them, which is like, listen, Lauren, as a professional journalist, I don't know, you can have some protected messaging services like Signal or something, you know. Just the example, it seems everyone has figured it out by now. It's 2025, right? But she doesn't. And the other thing is, it seems maybe she's trusting people a little bit too quickly and easily, because it seems she didn't even know these people that long and they had access to all of her accounts. I mean,
and I think it's really strange that you just meet somebody. You guys, I'm telling you, if you just meet somebody and they start sharing information of another person in a negative way, I promise you, the minute you walk away, they're going to do the same to you. So just, you know, like kind of open your eyes and maybe steer clear of those people, because that's what I've learned in my experience. And this seems to be Lauren's MO.
I'm not sure why she would do that. But anyways, it's quite interesting because her main blame goes towards the person who is releasing my text message is much worse than what I am when I wrote all this shit about other people. So it's like, no, Lauren, maybe just don't write shit about other people.
See, that's what I mean in her yeah buts. She's full of yeah buts, you know. Yeah, but they did this, but yeah, but I'm going to do this. Yeah, but they did this, but yeah, but I am justified because they did that. Lauren's full of that.
In the first place, especially not when it's that horrific. And when you want us to focus on your work instead of what you do privately, well, this is actually your work. Because if you say, oh, you're standing up for victims and you actually trash talk victims, then yeah, it affects your work. This is your work. Or if you try to interfere with other podcasters, this is your work. So no, we get it right. You know, we don't talk about, I don't know, if you have a dispute with your neighbor at home, no one gives a shit about it. We focus on your work and on your reporting. Yeah, because it seems the way you report information is not honest and not professional or unbiased at all. That's why we are all focusing on it, yeah? And also pay attention to one really important thing. So if something goes wrong, such as, you know, the text messages might get released, it's definitely someone else's fault. Yeah, it's because the other person shouldn't have screenshotted it and they shouldn't release it. It's much worse. And they bring it out of context, right?
It's much worse when other people do it to me. It's not bad when I do it because I'm just doing work and I'm reporting and, you know, I make mistakes. I'm only a human being. I'm only one human being. But when you do it to me, it's stalking.
It's the other person's fault. But her success is completely just based on her own hard work, yeah? She considers herself an expert in the Daybell case. Really? Okay, so let me ask you a question. What have you actually done? You didn't fly with a plane to Hawaii and confront those two and ask where the children were. No, you didn't. You went to a courthouse. And then you sat there in the courtroom, and then you went outside and you said, by the way, that's what we've heard today. Brilliant. That's what shitloads of other people did too. And you know what? The planet wouldn't have stopped rotating if you wouldn't have been there, right? How did you fight for the victims? Like, you weren't the prosecutor, Lauren. You were sitting there on a fucking chair taking notes.
What really did she actually do for the Daybells and the Vallows and that family? Like, really, what did she do? I mean, we're going to look at what they did for her monetization wise and how and I'm all for making your bank, right? You know, like, get ahead, do what you need to do. But I don't know, when you try to play the victim and you're not the victim and you're actually the perpetrator and it comes back to bite you, don't be mad when people are like, finally, right? Finally.
That's it. Like, you didn't break something in a case or anything. You didn't find a fucking missing person. Like, nothing. Okay? No one gives a shit, Lauren. Like, you make it sound as...
She didn't find a missing person. I found a missing person. Did you know that my channel helped find a missing person? Like, we have that under our belt, and the person that we worked with, the other channel that we worked with, they found 3 more missing people. But am I like, like, I'm pretty proud of it, but I don't wear that kind of shit like Lauren Matthias. Is it Mathis or Matthias? Why am I doubting myself today? It's been too long since I've reported on it.
Thanks to you, someone got prosecuted. No, it's not. I mean, yeah, thanks for reporting about it. If you wouldn't have been there, shit, lots of other people would have done the same. You're not that important, Lauren, and maybe you just don't get it. And the other thing is, it's actually quite rich to say, I'm an expert on the case, on someone else's family tragedy. You know, there are still people alive, living from this family. I mean, I don't know how I would feel if someone else would say, I'm an expert in your family's tragedy.
I would
like,
feel horrible about that if I befriended a friend and maybe they reported on it and then they became an expert, or in their 9-hour live compared them to my family's victims, the ones that were actually unalived. Somebody said scorched earth, and I think I might feel that way. I might feel scorched earth, that the earth needs to scorch underneath these people that are saying this, but thankfully nobody's done that to me.
Oh, thanks. Wow, great. Like, how weird is that? Like, you're an expert in the case. So tell me, what do you know what no one else does? What do you...
Point. Good morning. Yeah, that is a great point. If you guys ever followed the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case, there is a content creator that there is a content creator. What do I even say to that? There is a content creator that feels, well, like I said this before, in every case that happens, there's content creators that feel like they own the case. Like, it's theirs to own, like much like Lauren Matthias feels she owns the case, the Daybell case. There was a content creator, and she was unhinged. She's unhinged, is unhinged, does do good work from time to time, but totally negates it by her behaviors. So that is a good analogy. Good morning, 1980 millennial.
You know what not even the family members know? What evidence do you know about but not even the police knows about? So tell me about this. What is your absolute secret that makes you an expert? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So maybe come down from your fucking high horse and realize who you actually are. You were a TV anchor. Okay, brilliant, fine, great. Then you were a stay-at-home mom and you got bored and you started a fucking YouTube channel. That's what it is. You basically...
But isn't that the story with, like, most of us? We were something at one point and now we're a YouTube, well, like that are YouTubers. Now we're YouTubing, we do something that kind of relates to what we used to do. I mean, do we all need gold stars for that? I don't think so. I don't want a gold star for it. I love that you guys have found me and I'm getting recognition, and I am so happy that you guys are here. But if I ever get so high in my shit that I think I'm more than I am, I want someone to knock me off this high horse, because it's not a good look for anybody. So, all right, I will put the link for the rest of this down in the show notes. I really like this YouTuber, so we're going to continue to follow her. She's actually, I found her over on TikTok, but she's also on YouTube. We played her YouTube, but we did play her over on TikTok the other day. So
behind the barn, there's a thicket, and if you listen late at night, you'll hear a cricket, and it sings a song, and I know the words